Hi guys, I want to go ahead and share something with you that I probably would not have shared during the study. When it comes to energetics, it's bigger than just knowing things and being synchronistic with each other. It's our ability to have full autonomy and complete control of everything that our cells do, that our energy does, how it interacts with the space around us and within itself. And as I've been working on this stuff for years, I've come up with a couple of challenges for myself. I've removed skin cancer from my face. Which again, it's strange to say this out loud to a group of people. I talked to Laura about this. I may talk to, in my intimate moments, I may share these things, but to share it with a group is putting myself out there, really risking the idea that you may not be okay with hearing this information. So when I removed the skin cancer from my face, it was a simple process. My parents had been diagnosed with skin cancer. They had had multiple pieces removed from their arms, as large as a silver dollar, and other places on their body. And so I'm already aware that this is running in my family. It's historic and other members of my family as well. And I'm paying attention to my own body, and I notice these gray patches on my face, and I think, oh, that's how my mom and dad's areas started. They started the same way this spot looks on my face. And I only noticed it because somebody had me going back through some old videos from the first study. And I noticed from the beginning of the study to the end of the study that these gray spots started looking more and more obvious. And I thought that was very interesting too. Then one day I'm on a phone call with a friend, and she tells me how she has this abrasive treatment of her face done. And I was like, oh, well, if I had had my face abraded, if I'd had this treatment done to my face, then perhaps I wouldn't be in the position to have skin cancer on my face. And instantly, I was fully aware of the cellular structure of my face, of what was going on inside of the skin and why it was behaving the way it was. Now, I can't put that into words, but I can tell you what happened next. I was touching my face and I could feel, as I connected to the cells, that they could be removed by simply abrading them. And in that moment, the texture of the skin changed. The flesh felt different under my fingers. And again, with this awareness, I just simply scratched it off my face. Now, sounds crazy because you think you're scratching your flesh, you're just creating a hole in your skin. And that is exactly what I did. I scratched my flesh and I created a hole in my skin. But this is different because in the past, if I were to scratch myself and create a hole in my skin, it would really hurt. It would sting, it would burn, it would be completely uncomfortable. But what I found with this is I knew exactly how much pressure to put. I knew exactly where to scratch. I knew exactly where to remove which cells and at the rate, at the pace, and it just was gone. It was that easy. I did take photos, but I'm hesitant to put those up because somebody might be squeamish. But I have removed 4 spots on my face. And again, if I were to just think about it and just try to do it by wanting to do it and scratching the surface of my skin, it doesn't feel the same at all. It's a completely different process of going in and having this experience of removing this with the understanding on an energetic level of the connection of the cells. Another experience I've had is I started trying not to get burned. I had a habit years ago of getting burned a lot, and it's just very painful, and I have quite a few scars. And I thought, if this energy stuff works, there's got to be a way not to get burned anymore, to reverse the burn process. And so I started paying attention to it, and I started to get really good at it. And then it was about 6 months, I hadn't had any burns, and I'm sitting there pouring bacon grease into one of my porcelain cups. And one of the kids speaks to me, and I turn my head to look at them and answer their question. And as I do so, I pour the bacon grease fresh off the stove over my entire finger that was holding the cup. Now, in that moment, if I had just let go of the cup, I would have been capable of completely reversing the entire burn. But what I found was I had an obligation to not destroying the cup. Therefore, I held the cup, and the heat between my finger and the cup made it a lot harder for me to reduce the effects of the burn. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever poured hot, boiling bacon grease on your flesh before. If you get 3-degree burns, you get big blisters. I've done it before. So this is how I know exactly what was going on. Now, in the moment, for a second, I thought, look what I did. But no, 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 I know better. I instantly started treating myself with kindness. I instantly reversed that I needed this experience. I let go of any self-punishment. I told myself, hey, thanks for the warning. I see what's happening. I'm done with this. I don't need this. If you've had third-degree burns, you know how painful it is too. I instantly let go of the connection to the idea of pain. I said I know that there is no such thing as pain. Pain is self-created. So I went into that method as well. And as I'm letting go of every attachment, every conclusion, every judgment, every assumption of what's going on, it just goes away. I'm adding the video that I sent to Laura the same day that this happened so that you guys can see how much change can happen. And again, this is not something that I've only done once. I mean, I burnt myself yesterday and I reduced it instantly. I don't know why I burned myself other than maybe I'm careless, but it's not something I enjoy. So I don't endure it anymore. I just say, oh, I don't need that. Thank you. And I let it go. And you can do this with lots of things. I've helped people go through C-sections that have had nothing but bad experiences, and then when they have support through the C-section telepathically, we've been able to reduce the pain. We've worked with abortions, which I know is a really sensitive topic, but there are some people that have medically needed to have abortions, and we've worked with them to stop the traumatic experience that would normally happen. There's a long list of things that you can do. We've reduced the complications of surgeries of all kinds. We've increased the healing process by more than 40%. There's lots to be done in the field of energetics and working with energy and basically being in charge of our body instead of our body controlling us. It's a synchronistic process that when done as a unit where everything is simultaneously happening, it's very productive and creative. I guess it's where miracles happen. I'm also including today an exercise called Changing Currents. It's not a completed exercise. It's one I'm working on specifically for this group, for the study this year. You'll be the only ones that have access to it. And as I'm working on it each week, I'm adding exercises to support your ability to keep moving forward with the process. Basically, it's the format that I use to do things like not burn my skin, to reduce bruising and swelling when I've twisted my ankle, to stop pain when I'm having a tooth drilled. It's the same concept over and over. There's little twists and turns for everything. This is the beginning of what I use to make all these things possible. It's funny, I started this recording explaining that I was going to be vulnerable and share openly, and now we're at the end of it and it doesn't feel hard anymore. It's that moment where you risk yourself, where you challenge yourself to be free and open with something that you know is true and that others may not necessarily agree with. So thanks guys for coming along on my journey.